on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that throws stupidity down the stairs of knowledge. We're having another Flat Earth debate tonight, and I am delighted to be joined by fellow destroyer of Flat Earth nonsense MCToon and his opponent David Muniz. David Muniz I spoke to a couple of times on Non Sequitur Show and once on this channel about a year ago, so it's been quite a while. Interested to see if he's come forward in any ways with his Flat Earth evidence. But before we get started, obviously most countries are now on lockdown and limiting social contact, and I think it's going to be a good idea for whenever I start a stream just to remind everyone that hygiene is one of the most important things that can help us face the pandemic. Washing your hands properly is an extremely important thing. Hot water and soap is the best thing to just wash your hands as often as you can. If you don't know how to wash your hands, you probably should, but there's plenty of videos on YouTube that are giving good instructions on how to do that. If everyone helps, we'll get through this and we'll all be fine. So anyway, I'm going to let the guys introduce themselves. So heads for MCToon and heads for David to go first. Computer, flip a coin.
Flipping. It's heads.
Okay, heads, that's MCToon. So MCToon, why don't you just take a minute and introduce yourself?
All right. Well, very much FTFE for having me on, and thank you to David for agreeing to join us. I think this should be pretty good. If you're unfamiliar with me, the link to my I think it's in the description. Link to my channel. Go ahead and pop in there. And excellent. And if you me, then maybe subscribe. If you don't subscribe, and then tell me all about it. So. I do a weekly debate every Tuesday. Try to do it about 8 o'clock every Tuesday. And hey, it's Tuesday, 8 o'clock Central Time. So this is my debate this week. I did have one earlier today that I hosted between Gleam and Jack Zhang. Jack Zhang is a student at the University of Waterloo in Canada. So he's a smart kid, and it was a very good debate. I'll pop the link in the chat if anybody's interested in that. So that's all I have. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. David, welcome back to the channel. Why don't you just take a couple of minutes and introduce yourself?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is David. See, I've been researching the Flat Earth since 2015. That's when I really started looking into it. I started doing a lot of research into I mean, at first, of course, I was really skeptical about it. I looked at it, seen a lot of stuff that was interesting, and then throughout the years, I just came to understand that's our reality, you know. And I've done a lot of research. You know, there's a lot of good stuff. And to prepare for this, I looked at MCToon's all his videos that he's done, and he has some good, compelling evidence also, which is going to be pretty interesting. You know, he has, you know, there's a lot of good proofs on both, not proofs, but evidence on both ends. And I'm just interested to see what he got for today. It's going to be pretty interesting. I got maybe some things you might not have heard of. I don't know. From what I've seen, I don't think you have heard of the things that I got. So hopefully it'll be interesting to you, not some same boring stuff that you guys probably heard already before.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. So the format for today's debate is there's going to be 4 rounds, and in each round, someone will get 5-minute presentation on one topic, uninterrupted, and then their debate opponent will get 5 minutes to respond to that uninterrupted. Then there will be 10 minutes open discussion on that topic that they were just, you know, talking about. There'll be 4 rounds of that, and then there'll be a Q&A at the end. So if you guys would like to ask any questions towards the end of the 4 rounds, just start tagging me or send super chats or anything, and I will try and read out as many questions as we can. Say 30 minutes, 45 minutes for Q&A. So we might as well get on with this. So again, I'm going to ask the computer who's going to go first. This time it'll be heads for David and tails for MCToon. Computer, flip a coin.
Flipping. It's heads.
So David's going to go first today. David, did you get the Hangouts link to join to present your evidence?
Yes, I did. See, let's see how. So I'm just getting on there right now.
Yeah. So if you just join the Hangouts link and mute yourself in it, and just use that to screen share.
Okay, so how would I put it in here? Let's see. Join Hangout.
Yeah, it should just open up a new tab.
Yeah, I have it open on a tab already.
Oh, yep, you're in there. Yeah, just screen share in there, and I can present that on the thing here. Right.
I'm sorry. Let's see.
So, if you click the top 3 buttons at the right and click screen share.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Let me get. Up there. Are you screen sharing into the Hangouts?
I believe so. Do you got it? Do you see it?
No, I just see your.
Okay, cool.
There we go. I've got you now.
Let's see. You see my screen right there?
Yep. Let me just get this over so everyone else can see it. There we go.
So
Yeah, sorry, the screen was laggy there, guys. I've sorted that out now. Yep, so everyone's seeing your screen.
Okay, so what are we looking at? 'Cause I can see what we're looking at. Let's see.
Oh,
so
there we go. Yeah.
You can see the screen then.
Yeah, everyone can see that.
Okay, great. Well, first off, I wanted to talk about the Earth. That just some evidence that shows that it's not spinning. A lot of times people say that that the Earth is spinning and that you can't see it right now, but if you were to live 1,000 years or whatever the time length is, that you'll be able to notice it. Then you'll see stars not in the same location. But I have evidence that suggests that they are in the same location. As a matter of fact, I have there's a few of them that I have, but I want to actually brought up this one because I believe MCToon is in Minnesota, right? Is that right? Is it Minnesota?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. There's actually in your neck of the woods. I don't know if you ever heard of the Jeffers petroglyphs. Maybe
Petroglyphs. Is that in South Dakota?
No, it's in Minnesota.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay, well, this is in your area. There's just some ancient Indian petroglyphs that they've been out there for thousands. Let's say the estimate is between 1,000 and 3,000 years. They have all these petroglyphs, but just recently, with the last couple of years, that they discovered a little area like there was actually an observatory, and the observatory matches up to the stars that are aligned. That are aligned. They don't say nothing about them being off because of any tilt or any movement that would have them out of place throughout the thousands of years. And they line up, and then they're one of the. I've never been there, but it's just according to what I've read that they have these alignments and that they're supposed to be pretty accurate, more accurate than anybody else has ever done before, and it's pretty really interesting that I know it's in your area. That's why I brought that one. There's a few other ones, but I just wanted to mention that because I know that's out in your area where they have these things, and they actually the Americans that are in that area. It's really like a religious ground. They don't like people going over there. So when you actually go visit there, they replica on the side of it because they don't want people to mess with it, and they don't want it to because it's really sacred to them. So it's really good stuff. I think you would be interested if taking a look at that. But in case they line up with the stars, and one of the ones that they have, I believe, is let me make sure I get this right. They have the constellation. I believe it's Earth. I think it's I don't know if it's the Little or Big Dipper, but one of those. It has that one's actually specifically aligned right there where they have they have each star which is in that constellation that lines up exactly. Just showing evidence that that the Earth isn't spinning into the same location. Of course, I just want to make sure everybody's clear that it's in a circuit, a yearly circuit, which they the constellations, whatever you're seeing right now, it's going to be in the same position next year. But throughout the year, of course, it's going to go in a circuit. But they are in the same location throughout the years. And then so we got that ancient observatory out there in Minnesota, which is pretty cool. And then we have another one. This one actually goes a lot further out in time, which is in India. It's an ancient observatory. It dates back to 5,000 BC. So what we're trying to say here is that in 5,000 BC, we're having the same stars in the same location in 5,000 BC. And this is the only megalith site in India. It's an observatory that let's see, it's has about these little pillars, has about 80 of them that are all lined up with the stars, and which I think is pretty compelling, being that. And then I think it goes against what the mainstream says, saying that there's this change in the stars where they're not in the same location, and of course they say that we don't notice that in our lifetime, but throughout the centuries you would be able to notice these changes. Now these let's see, that this is there's actually in this location there's about 2,000 stones that are aligned, and I think that would be pretty difficult to beat if the stars were moving like what the mainstream says. I think this is and then now these two are the specifically the main ones that I got that I was really interested in, because they were in time, were throughout the time. I mean, they've been there for a long time, but also they had a lot of structures that were aligned with the stars. But there's observatories all across the world similar to this. I mean, the one I've actually been to the one in Chichen Itza, the one where the Mayas they have their observatory out there. I've actually been to that one. It's pretty fascinating to see those out there. But they have they're more focused on Venus and then the moon and the sun. The moon and the sun. They have all their monuments all aligned to that. But I mean, as far as the stars concerned, this is the ones that really stands out mainly with the stars. And so that's just the main one thing that I want to know. We had wanted to go over one thing at a time. And I have a few other things, but I could just start out with that one. That's stuff for you.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, the timer is about to go off, I think. So you just have a little bit left. But computer, stop timer. Whenever you're ready, MC. Whenever you're ready, we can change over to you, and you can give your rebuttal to that.
Sure. I'm ready. So now this is information. I have not seen these particular ones before. I've seen claims about the pyramids, and they're not very precise in their method. And so I would ask, right. What is the level of precision of these measurements?
I'm not too sure about the precision, but I know as far as like their distance. Like, okay, so say the constellation that it's aligned, the distance between the stars, it's accurate as. But I mean, I'm not sure exactly how accurate, but I know it's they all line up exactly, and there's no distortion, or there's no one off over here, one off over there. They're exactly aligned.
Oh, exactly is a level of precision that's impossible.
Yeah.
So you said first you don't know the precision, then you said exactly. So
I mean,
you don't know the precision.
As far as okay, like say for instance, as far as the distance between each other, as far as the distance in between the stars, they're aligned exactly, like they're proportional to what the stars are in the sky. So but as far as like you know, as far as like like if there's like a shift or anything like that, I'm aware they're pretty accurate. I don't know how accurate, but from what I understand, they're really, really accurate. But as far as be proportional to the way they're aligned, they're accurate. The distances and the proportions are all correct.
Yeah, sorry, that doesn't really give me much confidence in the level of measurement. So the reality is that people are able to measure the positions of stars much more accurately than I don't know. If you look here on the screen, I don't know how big that might be a little bit difficult to see. This is at mctoon.net/Polaris. If you want to just look at that. This I used the nautical almanacs from the UK nautical almanacs going back to 1850 to track the positions of stars, and they do this so that sailors can accurately position themselves using the stars. So they have all the different major stars and their positions. So, for example, Polaris in 1850 was not in the center, just like it is not now. It was at 88 degrees, 30 minutes, 35.28 arc seconds. So an arc second is 1/3600th of a degree. And it's able to get down to a measurement of a hundredth of an arc second. So there's the precision that's available in the measurements I'm providing here. In 1900, 50 years later, it was 88 degrees, 46 minutes, 26.72 arc seconds. So it had moved about 16 degrees, or 16 arc minutes in 50 years. And if you look at 2017, it's at 89 degrees, 20.3 seconds, or sorry, minutes. So it's moving. We have nice measurements of its location, and right to the hundredth of an arc second. So if you can't provide any more than I don't know, then I'm not going to really be very interested in your measurements.
So what I understand is you have these measurements that were written down, and somebody wrote them down and said that this is what it is, right? But we don't really know. If we go to the location to where these observatories are, we know where they are. We don't have to rely on somebody to tell us what they are. We know that they are lined up with the stars. Right here, you just have somebody written down some numbers. I mean, I could have wrote that down also, you know. And would you believe me? I mean that's what I'm trying to say.
Are you suggesting
they've been there for thousands and thousands of years? And I'm not saying somebody's lying. I'm not saying somebody's part of the conspiracy. But what I'm saying,
you certainly are saying somebody's lying. So hold on a second. You are absolutely claiming that somebody's lying, because this is the nautical almanac sent to his at the time His Majesty's Navy, right? And it was important to have accurate measurements so that they could have their extremely valuable ships know where they were. So to suggest that these numbers were wrong is absolutely insisting that they were lying at the time.
Well, there could
so
be a
that's
margin
fine.
error.
Yeah, I understand that you claim that they're lying in order to support your claims. I've provided precise measurements, and you've provided a rough maybe something. And so in the however many years that you didn't actually know between now and when that observatory is
that is the 5 minutes for your rebuttal, MCToon. So was it 10 minutes now if you guys should just have an open discussion about it?
Sure, and we kind of had gone into that.
Just before you guys get going, please try not to talk over each other. If someone asks a question, let the other person respond before you interrupt. I will try to stay out of it as much as possible. I'm sure you guys can keep it respectful between yourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never said that whoever wrote this down was lying. I mean, they could be wrong. You could be wrong and not be lying. You might think you're totally correct, but you could still be wrong. But in any case, are you know, I mean, depending on, because if you're saying that's for they made it for the king or the queen or something. What would you say that's for?
This was for the Royal Navy, so that their ships knew where they were going.
Right, and you know they want them. Anytime they came out with something, I mean, they had an agenda where they had. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just giving you ideas that with the possibilities that it could be wrong, because you know if the queen is suggesting something, we want to get what the queen wants, you know, and you want to give her and you want to give her to what she's expecting, right? Not necessarily what it is. You want to give it to what she's expecting, because I mean, if not, so like, you know, they were pretty violent in those days, and if they didn't get what they wanted, they pretty much did some horrible things to you. You know, so I mean, I'm not saying that he was lying or anything like that, but I mean, you never know what it could be. Anything. It could be off for any reason. He could be wrong just because he was wrong. He could have measured him wrong, or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying there's just so many possibilities of him being wrong. Right here, what I'm saying is there's no possibility he could be wrong. This is set in stone. It's set in stone, right? There's no changes. There's no. Oh, you
but you don't. But David, you don't know the measurement. You don't know the precision of that measurement. It could be 3 degrees off. You don't know. Right, and in however many years it was between now and when those rocks were put in, we don't know how much the stars should have moved, because you don't know what stars you're talking about. You don't You don't know the vision of the measurement. You don't know anything specific about it at all. You're just saying, oh, they're close. And then I asked the precision. You said exact, which of course no measurement is exact. So I know that that's not the case.
Right. I mean, I'm talking exactly as far I'm not talking in scientific terms. I'm talking exactly the way they are perceived. But so let's just say you're right and they're off a little bit. I mean, it wasn't precise like you say. But we're talking for the ones in India, they're actually lined up to man, let me actually get the right thing. They're aligned to okay, Ursa Major, right? And so they're lined up. The stars are lined up to Ursa Major. Now we're talking about what we're in 2000. So we're talking about a total of 7,000 years. That they're just. I mean, if they're off just a little bit, I mean, we're talking about 7,000 years. But throughout that time, how far you expect them to be if they were consistent with mainstream saying that they're rotating around this rotating around in the sky. I don't know how much difference are there supposed to be? I mean, like even if they're wrong, even if they're wrong.
That is your claim. So if it's your claim that it's too far off, I would expect that you don't have the amount that they should be off. Hold on. I would expect that you would have the heliocentric claim about how far they should have been off 7,000 years ago and how close they were now or then, right? And that you'd have that comparison, but you don't seem to have that either.
I don't. So I don't really. I mean, I just know that it lines up, and that should be good enough. I mean, that's good enough for me. That's convincing enough for me.
It's not good at all. It's quite worthless actually, because you don't know the precision. You don't know how far off it should be.
Wow,
it's good enough for you, and I understand. I understand that you don't have that idea about precision measurements, and that is good enough for you, but it's not good enough for regular people that are saying, I want to know how accurately we can measure the movement of the Earth through the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because the reason why I say it's good because we're talking about 7,000 years. I mean, if we were spinning on a globe and the stars out there, and the globe was spinning the galaxy, through space and all this stuff. I mean, these stars should be, I don't know, somewhere out. We shouldn't even see these stars anymore. I mean, they should be so way out, so far away.
Are you making a claim? Hold on, you're making a claim. They should be. Please present where they should be.
I have no idea because we shouldn't be able to see them anymore. They shouldn't be out of our. They shouldn't even be a part of our memory.
Well, please support that claim then. The floor is yours.
What's supporting that claim is that the mainstream model says that we're rotating at 1,000 miles over an hour around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour around around the galaxy.
We've all heard this. We've all heard this nonsense.
I mean,
please present.
That's what you're saying. Those numbers.
But this stuff is out of line with that.
We should be long. Those stars should be long gone with that. With those numbers that they say that we're moving.
There's about 4.5 minutes left on this topic, guys. Okay.
Okay. Please support that claim. They should be gone. Go ahead.
Well, those are your numbers, not my numbers. I mean, those are what you believe in.
My numbers say they should not be gone.
Without any evidence that you believe that stuff. There's no evidence to say that we're moving all those crazy amount of speeds. I don't believe that because that's not my. I don't.
Okay. So your claim is we should not see them, but you don't have any support for that. Got it. But what I will do is, if you're going to do it, go ahead and use our model, right? And predict back where the stars should have been then and where they should be now in order to support your claim that they should be gone. You haven't done that. Clearly, you don't even know the first thing about that.
Common sense, man. Common sense. I don't need to do all that. I mean,
no, I'm
sorry.
Don't
need to do all that.
This isn't something that we use. That common sense doesn't pay the bills, dude. So let's use actual like the model, right? And use that model in order to try to debunk the Earth. If you're not going to use the heliocentric model to debunk the heliocentric model, I don't give a damn. You're not doing anything to debunk the heliocentric model.
It's because it's nonsense. I mean, you're talking about that there's these stars that are trillions of light years away. I mean, who in their right mind believes that we could see so?
7 billion people in the world, too. So that doesn't. Who in their right mind isn't to debunk evidence?
They're not thinking about it. They just evidence. They're told. I mean, they're not seriously contemplating that. Oh, yeah, I can see this as far. They're just thinking.
Well, of course, 7 billion people haven't, but the people that have, and you have not, because clearly you have not, because you're not able to actually present. Hold on, you're not able to present a reason why these stars should be somewhere else. You just say they should be somewhere else, and if you can't actually substantiate that claim, it falls on deaf ears, and it doesn't make you look like you're going to win this argument very well. Because
I just don't think that's like.
I just don't think any statement that starts with "I just don't think" is lost already. I just don't think means you lost.
Nonsense. That is nonsense.
Present some evidence.
Present evidence and giving you the numbers, and if you can't go from there, then I don't know.
You didn't give any numbers. You didn't give any numbers.
Yeah, I told you the speeds of the rotation around the sun, and the rotation of the Earth's rotation, and then around galaxies.
None of that is evidence against what you're claiming it is evidence against.
So tell me, if you were to travel 1,000 miles a day, and 67,000 miles a day for thousands of years, you're telling me you're going to see the same thing after all that distance?
I'm saying they will shift slightly, and that's what we've measured.
About 60 seconds left.
So here's the David. We're moving at some fast speed next to something else that's also moving at that same, almost same exact fast speed. The shift is very small.
But we're talking about 3 different speeds that I know of, that I'm aware of. We're talking. I mean, I don't know if there's more. If they say there's more now, but we're talking about 3 different speeds, and that's like I said. It's really easy to think about it. I mean, go get yourself in a car and travel 67,000 miles an hour in a day. I mean, you know that you're gonna
next to another car moving the same speed. That's what we're doing.
It's not though. The stars. It's not though. They're not moving the same speed.
Well, present that. Then.
I mean, if you say that it is, show me the evidence that it is then, because I've never seen that.
No, you've made the claim that it should do something, and so it's on you to support that, and you haven't. So you're not going to shift the burden to me to prove that to provide your evidence for you.
You believe this stuff, man. I don't. It's up to you.
Computer stop. All right, guys, that's the 10 minutes for this round. Thank you very much for the evidence that was presented. Interesting fact about the stars. About 3,000 years ago, the North Star was a different star called Thurston, I believe. And in about 13,000 years' time, the new North Star will be a bright star called Vega. Interesting, guys. It's just, I love space and stuff. Anyway, the next section, MCToon is going to get to present evidence for this one. So whenever you're ready, MCToon, you can start presenting your evidence for the next topic.
All right. Well, thank you. So in science, we develop a hypothesis. Then we test that hypothesis. The cool thing is we can test many hypotheses. So a hypothesis. So when you test it, then you can falsify it, which means it was wrong, or you can support it, which means it could be right. Doesn't mean it is right. It doesn't prove it. So here, put me on the screen for a second here, FTFE. So here's a globe. My hypothesis is that this is an accurate map of the world, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure some things using yarn, and then I'm going to compare them to known distances. So now, all right, I'll put up my first thing here. You can go to my presentation there. So here is yarn on that very same globe. I did 3 different Great Circle routes. It goes from Taipei to LAX, from LAX to Sydney, and then Sydney to Taipei. These are flights that happen multiple times a week. Maybe right now they're not happening as often, but they regularly happen. So we are able to measure them both on a globe and then see how it compares to reality. So I measured, so the scale here, 1 inch is 660 statute miles and 1 centimeter is 418 kilometers. The cool thing about this is that legend is consistent all the way around the Earth, unlike any flat Earth map I've ever seen where there is no legend that is useful. So first route here, Sydney to Taipei, and then I measured it, and I got just under 7 inches. Then we've got Sydney to LAX, and I measured it over 11 inches. And then LAX to Taipei, I measured it, and it's just over 10 inches. Right, so then we can compare that. We can use the scale on there, and let's see, the actual raw number there is 10, let's see, Taipei to LAX, 10.5 inches. That's 10,887 kilometers. LAX to Sydney, 7,425 miles, 11,000 kilometers. When I do science, I do it in kilometers. And I'm sorry, Craig, I know you prefer to use sheep unit. But you'll have to deal with the metric here.
Yeah, it's 712 sheep to a kilometer.
Sheep lengths, yes. If anybody's wondering, net/sheep if you need the sheep unit conversions. Sydney to Taipei, 6 7/8 inches, 7,300 kilometers. Now, the thing is, now we can look at flights that have really happened. Right? So here is Flight Aware, China Airlines 52, which is from between Taipei and Sydney. We can look at the actual, let's see, is this the, there it is. The actual, oh, this is in miles, my goodness. But I did it in miles as well. 4,537 miles using my yarn. 4,733 miles was the actual flight. Right? We can do the same thing for this flight here, which is LAX to Sydney, right? And we get the distance, the actual flown distance, 7,600 miles. And my yarn measured it as 7,425 miles. Very close there. Now, of course, when they fly, they have to take slightly different routes because of weather or approaches to airports and things like that. So then the final one here, which is Taipei to LAX, distance is 6,973 miles. And the yarn measured it as 6,765 miles. So all very close within a tight margin of error. So the hypothesis is that you can use a globe to, let me bring this back there. You can use a globe to, as an accurate map, to plot out courses and measure distances that are actually used in reality. And based on the measurements I used with the yarn and the actual flights flown, it is confirmed. Now, that does not prove that it's a globe. It supports that it's a globe. But what we can do is we can test it on the flat Earth model. And David, I don't know if you have a preferred map, but it doesn't really matter. There is no map that works. None at all. I've tried. The typical one where
Computer,
with
stop.
All
right, MCToon,
AE map
for 5
doesn't.
minutes.
So there you go. Thank you.
All right, David, you have 5 minutes to respond to the evidence that MCToon just presented. And remember, it is just the evidence that he presented, nothing else, okay? So over to you. Computer, start a 5-minute timer.
5 minutes. Starting now.
I'm pretty sure you've seen the Gleason's map. The Gleason's map, you could do that. Those the same distances, grab the same distances. Of course, they're going to be off, like you're off a little bit, but you could definitely do that on the Gleason's map. You just have to know how to use the Gleason's map, and that would be having to use the scale that they have on there, right? And I would like to do it, but I think it's kind of like, nerve-wracking if you're doing it in front of people and you have the Gleason's map. But I'm pretty sure I could do it. I mean, so it's not that hard. You just have to
Oh, we could do it right now.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, we could you just got to pull up the Gleason, and then I'm pretty sure you know how to use it, and you just have to use the scale on there.
There is no scale on the Gleason map that you can use.
At the bottom, yes, there is. There's a scale on there.
The scale refers to the lines of latitude. It does not refer to the lines of longitude.
Yeah, of course, because it's a projection map. It's projecting from the center, but
it's a projection from the globe. Accurate, right? Yeah. Well, can you see? Yeah. It's a projection from the globe. But here's the thing: if you use what the Gleason map and you say 60 nautical miles per line of longitude, you get a cylinder.
Yeah, I seen your videos. I watched all your videos this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Good.
Let's see. I have. What was your locations again? You had LAX to Taipei, LAX to.
Yeah, we could do Sydney to LAX would be a very good one.
Yeah. And then you had three of them, or you had three of them, right?
Yes, Taipei.
And then Australia. And what was the third one? I'm missing the third one.
Taipei, X, Sydney.
Oh, okay. I see
so
what you
I
did.
have.
Okay, I see what you did now. This map. This map was made for it was a projection map, but I mean, you probably wouldn't be able to get
of a flat surface should be pretty stinking easy to make.
Well, all maps are flat. I mean, you could get any map. They're all going to push you in the right direction. They're all going to give you those distances.
Well, the map I used is not. It's a sphere.
Right, I understand that. But I'm saying any map that you pull up. I mean, that they don't have a globe when they're doing distances, measuring distances. I mean, everything's a flat map.
Actually, no. You maybe want to do your own research. When they plot flight routes.
All right, it's about a minute and a half left for David to present any evidence against what MCToon brought up. So, David, do you have any specific evidence about what MCToon?
What I'm trying to say is that all I'm trying to say is that any map that is used it's most many maps. I'll say most maps that are used are going to be it's a flat map. I mean, so you're going to be able to get those distances even if you use this one or use another map. You pull up a Mercator map, it's a flat map. I mean, you use the globe, which is great and all, but any other map that you use, you'll be able to get the same thing. So like, you know, because they're all there's always distortions on something, but you're gonna get the same measurements no matter what map you use. They're all the maps, any map that's out there. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but you haven't supported your claims.
Well, pull up any map. I mean, so, you could pull up any map. Every map that's out there is flat.
Except the one I used was a sphere.
Yeah, except the one that you use. But what I'm saying is that's great. You got those measurements and all, but you could get those measurements on any other map besides that one.
Well, present that claim then.
Okay, computer, stop. All right. So guys, now 10 minutes for you to just carry on an open conversation about this. Okay. Same rules as last time. Try not to talk over each other. It was pretty good last time. So on you go. Computer, start a 10-minute timer.
So I have an AE map up right now. If you want to look at it.
But also just you know, as far as your map is concerned, or your globe right there, I mean there's got to be some distortions on there somewhere. I mean is it a globe that a Mercator projection? What kind of map? What kind of
It's a globe.
Yeah, I know, but
it's a globe.
You know, like
it's not a projection. It's a globe.
I understand
There's no
that.
projection.
I mean, I can't see it in front of me, but I would like to see, you know, the distances in Greenland, or you know, how big is Africa, or whatever. I would like to see that, you know, so I could actually show you where it could be wrong, you know, because of course you're gonna say like I said, you can use the Gleason's map to get these measurements, but you could also point out the inaccuracies on that map. So what I'm just trying to say, because there's inaccuracies on all maps.
I have well, except that the one that I used did not have any inaccuracies because it worked for those flight charts, flights there. So I have an AE map, the Gleason map, up right now. If you see that, right, and I have LAX to Sydney, right, and this is using a flat Earth using the AE map, which is the Gleason map, the same one, right. And we can scroll up here and we can see using the AE map, 9,417 miles is the distance using the AE map from Sydney to LAX.
That's not the way you're supposed to use it. You pointed
what's
out
the way you're supposed to use it?
Well, that's what you have.
What's the way you're
supposed to? You're supposed to measure it through the what do you call it, the latitude lines, and that's how you can't just go diagonal. That's not what it's made for. I mean, because of course that's inaccurate. You know it's inaccurate. You're trying to show it and trying to prove a point when you already know it's inaccurate that way. I mean, come on, man. Like I said,
well, you claimed this map could be used to measure the distance, and I'm using it to measure the distance, and now you're saying that I'm not using it right. Please tell me the right way to measure the distance.
I said it could measure distances. Like you pointed out something that work well on a globe. But if I could see that globe, I could probably point out the distances that are inaccurate. Just like you pick these specific locations because you know that they would be inaccurate on a Gleason's map.
Do you want to hold your globe up again, MCToon? I'll make you full screen so David can examine the globe.
See that?
Would you like to see Greenland?
You can't even see it at all. I mean, the only one that I know, I pretty much know that Greenland's right there. But what I'm most likely, where just by off the top of my head, I'm pretty aware that the measurements in like Antarctica will probably be wrong. Like the measurements from I'm pretty sure that's the part that off the top of my head, that's the only one I could think of without analyzing it myself.
All right, so you've had many years of opportunities to look at globes and maybe point out the errors in them. Here, the problem is that nobody's ever found an error in the globe, but I found an error in the AE map pretty difficult here. How do you measure the distance from one point to another using the AE map? Go.
Well, that's not what it's made for. You you know that's wrong. You mentioned yourself the way the measurements are supposed to be done. You know that it's not accurate going from like what is it, from north to south. You know that's inaccurate. You know it's supposed to go, the distances are going the other way. That's not what it's made for. I mean, you know that part's inaccurate.
So it's an inaccurate map. Do you have an
Just like
accurate map of the flat Earth?
Just like all maps are inaccurate. I mean, not all of them are
except this one.
Accurate.
This one is accurate.
Not even the satellite projection map is accurate. I mean, come on. They have the satellite projection map as the Mercator map. That's not even accurate. I mean, come on.
So you've made claims, but I need to have some supporting evidence.
Which the claim that the satellite map is wrong off. I can show
Absolutely.
you one.
Something. So I'm not interested in empty claims. I'm interested in measurements and evidence.
I have this. I've pointed out plenty of times. We could do the first one at the top, second one at the top. I mean, this is
So if you're going to show me a projection, I'm not interested in a projection, because a projection we know is this distortion of the globe. So show the inaccuracies on this, please, because this is my model right here.
Right, and I can't physically, would it be comparable to Google Earth? I can show you that one where it's inaccurate on that one.
Google Earth is a good option because it's based on the sphere. The spherical Earth. It's WGS84 is its background. It's reference datum.
So you're saying that's all right? That's okay with the Google Earth map?
Sure.
Is that what you're saying? I mean, on Google Earth, I don't know if you want to pull it up or I can pull it up, but.
Right, 4 minutes left on this topic, guys.
Let's see right here. Basically on Google Earth, I mean, I could say it while it's trying to load up on my computer, but basically, whatever it shows, it should be like half of the Earth, right? Whatever it's showing right there, it's not half. I mean, you could spin it around like 6 times and to get to the location that you started. It's not an accurate globe. I don't know if I understand.
I'm anxious to see what you have.
Now, okay, so how do let me share this? How do I share this again?
I'm seeing it.
Oh, you see
I
it?
don't think you need to do anything. I think.
Okay, cool.
I think Craig just needs to.
All right. All right. So I mean, so what we're looking at, you say, are you saying that's half of the globe, right? That would be half of the globe.
That's a little too close to see half of it. That's too close to see half of it. Yeah, you have to get pretty far to get close to half. But
I mean, what you're seeing that's what it should be, right? I mean, that's what it's supposed to be like. What you're looking at, like say for instance, if the sun, we were the sun, showed our rays onto there, it would be like half of the globe, right? From where we're at. That's what it is, right? I might saying something wrong. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what your point is.
That we're looking for the globe, right? And the other half, say the other half will be on the other side. Like whatever we can't see is the other half, right? Like if we were to cut down the globe in half in the middle, that's what we're looking at, right? Half of it. Is that right? Is that accurate?
You keep just present your evidence here.
I just want to know because I want to know if what I'm saying is correct. If you agree with that.
That it's half? I don't know that this is meant to show you an accurate representation of half. This isn't about showing you something
No,
that's from a
but
far
it's a
distance
globe. It's
away.
supposed to show you the globe.
Okay.
Well, in any case, that's the way I understand it. Okay, if you don't understand, I don't know, but that's the way I understand it. Is that what we're looking at is supposed to be half, but it's not half, because if you were to rotate it, you know that if you go half, like you go, so you go the what was it, like the diameter of the globe and pull it across, it doesn't go to half. It goes to like a quarter of it. It's not accurate. It's not a true sphere. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. All right. So where's the errors? Do you have any measurement errors you can point to, or anything substantial, or just you're trying to drag it around and it doesn't drag as much as you hope it does?
No, because all you have to do is half of the. It's not what I want to do. It's what it does. So if you pull half of the map, half of the globe around, you should see the other half, right? But that's not what it sees. It's not, so it's inaccurate. It's not a true globe. It's not a true sphere. I mean.
All right. Do you have anything real? Because this is pretty stupid. Are you like just screwing with me to act stupid, to make flat earthers look stupid? Because this is dumb. Okay. Find me an error in the map, in the globe, that you think there's an error in. Please present the error.
There's errors in Antarctica also.
Computer stop. All right, guys, that's 10 minutes. So that's this topic. We can move on to the next one. So that was fun. Again, not much evidence from David's side, in my opinion, but I'm just the moderator here. So we're going to move on to the next topic. So it's going to be David's turn to present some evidence again. David, what have you got for us? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me see. Okay, well, I wanted to talk about gravity.
About gravity.
My favorite subject. Yes, gravity.
Okay,
gravity.
Let me just get your screen set up. I'll put you up there. Are you going to be presenting something on the Hangouts?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick.
Okay. We'll put Hangouts down there. Okay, just tell me when you're ready and we'll start at 5 minutes.
All right, I got it.
Computer, start a 5-minute timer.
5 minutes.
Ready to start it? Okay. Okay, I wanted to discuss gravity. Now, my long stance has always been that gravity is not what everybody thinks it is. It's not mass attracting mass. There's no evidence that suggests mass attracting mass. And for a long time, I've always had an issue with gravity. I was trying to figure out what it is because I just don't experience. I don't see. I don't see any evidence that says it's mass attracting mass. The evidence that is presented is not sufficient enough for me, right? So I've looked into gravity for quite a while. I've been looking for it and trying to figure out what is going on. So my understanding now, what I understand what gravity is not mass attracting mass, but it's a incoherent dielectric, and it's the force that we're talking about is more of a it's an acceleration. It's not a force. It's a removal of space. So that's what that is what is causing the objects to go to the ground, or that's what's the cause of it. This comes down to more of right now most people believe that we have this Newtonian gravity, we have this Einsteinian gravity, we have this what's the other one? I forgot I can't remember the other one, but in any case, what I'm talking about is more of a universal field, which has what combines them all together, and that's what we call the dielectric, because it's a dielectrical field, right? What is it called? Let's see. I have more info right here. Oh man. Okay. Now what it's like I said, it's not a force. It's more a field attribute that we're talking about is a removal of space, and that's what to me, what the way I understand gravity, this is way I understand it, and it makes a lot more sense because I've never seen mass. I've never seen mass attracting mass. This conforms to my reality that I see every day, and we also have a what do you call it, a equation that it's an improved equation to to Newton's equation, where we have what do you call it, the dielectric voidance is equal to the distance. What is it, mass times mass? Was it mass times? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to remember this right now. Mass times mass divided by distance. And see, that's the equation that I have right there. It's but like I said, it's a field attribute, which combines all the different forms of gravity we have. You know, like I said, the Einstein gravity, Newton's gravity.
You're not presenting your screen anymore, David, just so you know.
Oh, it's not sharing?
No, I can just see your camera return to me now.
Oh, damn. Let's see. Where did that go? It says that I'm sharing right here, but let me try it again. Hold on.
I've just paused your timer while you're sorting that out.
Okay, sorry about that, man. Hangouts right here.
Just start the screen share again, and it should come up.
Yeah. Come back.
Yep, there we go. Computer, carry on with the timer.
Timer resumed with about 1 minute and 30 seconds left.
How long was that left?
A minute and a half.
Okay, cool. And so even the way I was thinking, I mean, even Newton was thinking about that. Like Newton really didn't agree on what he perceived or what he was saying that gravity was. He has stuff written about it in his own words that he was saying about his discomfort or the way he felt about gravity. So, and that's one of the reasons what also made me think about gravity is that it doesn't really conform to our reality or what we see. I mean, it does make sense in a way, but there's a lot of things where it doesn't, and it just brought a lot of questions to me. So that's when I don't know if you a lot of this stuff comes from Ken Willard. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but he's one who's really studying this mainly. He's the one who does all the tests and everything. That's the stuff that I've looked at, and that's where I've got all this stuff from. If you need more references, but this is the way he understands it. That and being that it made it like Newton's gravity made sense for what it was. But when when we start improving our knowledge, we're able to grasp gravity. Where does it make sense for all the different types of fields, right? So you had Einstein's gravity, which he was talking about. That was a space curvature of space and time, but it didn't make sense with Newtonian gravity, right? So, but now we're looking at the dielectric acceleration. This actually makes sense in both areas, which is more of a unified.
Okay, that's your time up there, David. Computer, stop. Computer, stop. Listen to me. Right, MCToon, you have 5 minutes to respond. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the timer.
All right, I'm good.
Computer, start a 5-minute countdown.
5 minutes, starting now.
I am familiar with Ken Wheeler and his nonsense. You did not actually present any evidence. You presented a lot of claims. So I could just be done right now. But instead, I will present evidence for gravity. So I will start with the equation for gravity right here. Do my screen here, Mike, Craig. So here you go. There's the formula for gravity. Now, you made a claim that Newtonian gravity and Einsteinian gravity do not agree. They actually do. Einsteinian gravity simply extends and completes or brings closer to completion. So if you see the equation here, right, we can add the Lorentz factor if we want to get Einsteinian right there. And there we go. And all that is that's the relative speed as compared to the speed. And since we're not moving very close to the speed of light, the Lorentz factor is so close to a value of 1 that you can't measure the difference. So it's effectively 1, which means that unless you're moving at a significant percentage of the speed of light, Newtonian gravity and Einsteinian gravity work just fine. So now there is a ton of evidence for gravity. So we have here on mctoon.net/G, I have 16 different measurements of the strength of gravity. And many of these are torsion bar experiments. Sometimes they're called Cavendish experiments. Not all of them are. There's some that are different types of experiments, one that uses 13 tons of mercury. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little video by BM Furball, nice guy there. He built his own torsion bar experiment.
MCToon, just refresh. Come on, stream. Right, we should be back live. Guys, sorry about that. Had a brief power cut where I am. It seems to be okay now. Was not my computer this time. Let me just check. We should be live. MCToon, you there? MCToon. Yeah, sorry guys, I had a brief power cut where I am for just a few seconds, but it's all back up now. It wasn't the fault of my computer this time. Just waiting for MCToon to rejoin. David is back with us.
Where are you at? You're in the UK, aren't you?
Yes. I guess everyone's at home and it's extra demand on the electric or something. I don't know, but
Everybody's home. Yeah, that's what it is. Everybody's home. The streets are empty over here where I'm at. In the night, it's just empty. Nobody's out.
It's
Nobody's
crazy.
doing anything. Yeah, it feels like you're in the apocalypse, like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, everyone wearing masks and like no toilet paper in the shops.
Yeah.
MCToon just needs to hit the refresh. He should be able to come back. Oh, there you are, Toon.
There.
Sorry, I had a power cut where I am for a few seconds.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
Yeah. I guess it's a lot of people at home because of the impending lockdown and stuff, I guess. Extra demand or something. But everything turned off for a couple of seconds. Was not the fault of my computer this time. But computer, how long's left? Computer, how long's left?
You have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on your 5-minute timer, but it's currently paused.
There you go. You can just carry on whenever you're ready. We get straight back into it.
Where was I when you cut out?
I can't even remember.
Presenting the evidence for gravity.
Yeah, but I presented a bunch.
Yeah, you hadn't started with any one of them.
Oh my goodness,
So
I got through the whole thing.
Yeah, like 16.
Oh, where's the audio going?
Can you not hear me anymore?
I hear you.
What's going on now? Why can't I hear you?
Oh no.
Testing, testing.
I hear you.
Oh, come on. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Oh, you hear me? I don't hear you. I don't think the audience hears. Oh, there we go. I can hear me. No, just carry on. I can't hear you for some reason.
Okay.
I'll sort that out.
Weird. So, all right. So I was showing BM Furball. All right. Let me back it up here a little bit. And so BM Furball used the torsion bar, and he twisted into place these two 40-pound masses. And I know Craig hear me, so he can't put it on the screen. Oh, I wonder if he doesn't have my Hangouts might have dropped out too from him. So hold on. Happy St. Patty's Day, Scary Voyage 407. How you doing? So, So Greg cannot hear us, so we can't fix anything. I see some fun stuff in the chat going on there.
Slow now since I've reloaded it up after the power cut.
MCToon, do I speak any Spanish? Mi español es no muy bueno. How's your Spanish, David?
Yo habla español.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you. I can hear you now. That's
you
better.
Can. All right.
Oh no, I can't. It's gone again.
Looks like there's some many copies of me on the screen.
Bear with me one sec. I cannot hear anything apart from. Oh, I just have to listen to you guys on the stream, but then I can't respond in real time.
Vishanti, if I ask you to say something to David, would you?
Yeah, that's what I'm presenting.
I don't know, Vishanti. That's what I'm presenting? All right, hold on.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's what I'm receiving from you.
Maybe you need to re-up your...
Computer stop.
Re-up
there we go. I've got it.
Hangouts. Good. So here is... Are you seeing this too, David?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, okay. So this is back to BM Furball. He twisted into place these two 40-pound masses, and he gets them close up to these lead balls that are on the torsion wire, and allows them to twist. And the wire has a small amount of resistance to it. So and I'll hit play now. So when it does that, then the I'll go faster. It causes a twist in the bar there. So that light was to the right side of that black bar, and after he introduces the weights, the masses, the bar starts to swing. It takes about 2 days because he doesn't have any dampening stuff on this to stop it from swinging quickly. So it takes about 2 days to get to the new position. Now, some questions that people typically ask is, could it be electrical? Could it be magnetic? Lead is diamagnetic. It resists magnetism. It's not attracted to it. They're all on the same, they're all grounded to this, so they all have the same electrical potential, so it's not electrical. So that's one. Second one here is this one by, and maybe David, you saw this and nobody else did, but let's see here. This sealed container is right here, and it's an evacuated chamber, and there's 2 balls in there, and again a torsion wire. So this is a much more precise one. They put these 2 larger lead balls right up against the window next to the mass that's on the inside. So then they use a mirror and some light to measure the offset, and I'll show you here the offset as it happens. There it is. So you can see that the starting point is 51.8 centimeters, and then it swings back and forth. It has some slight dampening, so it doesn't take super long. This is much faster than real time. But you can see over time that it finds a new resting point that's different than where it was after the introduction of the masses, right? Now, that's not just been done a couple times, that's been done a bunch. And right here on my website, I have I have 16 different measurements of the strength of gravity. And anybody can look at them. These are peer-reviewed scientific publications, and they all come, they're measuring actually the strength of G in the formula. So the formula being F equals G times M1 times M2 all over R squared. So we can use that formula.
That's your time for there.
Okay, sounds good. You can't hear me.
I'm struggling to hear you guys on vMix. I'm listening to you on the stream, which is a little bit behind me. So sorry if it takes me a few seconds to respond. But let's just start 10 minutes where you guys can just keep going back and forward about this. And I'll try and sort out my audio whilst you're doing that.
Well, actually, David, you get 5 minutes to start.
Yeah, a few things. Let's see. So, the Cavendish experiment. I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's an accurate way to determine anything. But because there's so many variables that play a part that nobody ever accounts for. Right? I mean, like what the reason why? Let's say we even go back to Cavendish when he wanted to do his experiment. I mean, he had to look through a little.
I didn't cite that, so.
Right.
That'll be a strong.
I'm going to give you the comparisons to the ones that we currently do today. I mean, so the reason why he had to look through a peephole from a distance far away, and he had to be in a shed, right? Because there's all these outside variables that he was trying to negate. But it's kind of, in my opinion, it'd be hard to negate. I mean, you're other things that could play a part if gravity, if the whole thing, if this gravity was real, right? Like, because we're talking about, I mean, we could even talk about the moon. If the moons are able to pull tides, I'm pretty sure they could pull these lead balls, right? And those are just so many variables that could play a part that we don't know. We don't know if it is or not. We can't determine those variables, and that's the whole reason why they want to be in a metal shed. Or that's why I think the one that you're showing, right? He did a video. I think it was like a video or something. He wasn't around the whole apparatus, right? He had to use like a video camera or something. So he was trying to negate his, like, the mass of his body, right, or being around it, right? But there's still all these other things that are around it that can play a part in your results that you get. And so that's just one thing that. And then I believe if they're using lead balls, right, they're supposed to use non-ferrous metals, right? But there's nothing there. That's an impossible task to have 100% non-ferrous metals, right? Because there's got to be something in there's going to be a trace of something besides lead. There's going to be other metals that can be magnetized or whatever the case may be. But there's nothing 100% pure lead, right? There's other metals that are also going to be in those balls. It's an impossible task to get a complete pure lead ball, right? And those are the two things that for me anyways have brought to question the Cavendish experiment, and that's the reason why I don't agree with the Cavendish experiment.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
So those are all great critiques if you were to examine the value of G that was output by one of these measurements, and why maybe it would be slightly off. But certainly none of those critiques are of any value when saying that it simply doesn't exist. So when you're talking about, for example, the impurity of lead, that would potentially give a slight error in the value of G that you're measuring. But that would not in any way explain why when you introduce a mass next to it, that it moves closer. That does nothing. Completely nothing, because it's almost all lead, and lead is diamagnetic. So that doesn't explain it at all. Just raising the question that, it might increase the error a little bit doesn't do anything. So this particular one here, the BIPM measurements of the Newtonian constant of gravitation, this is a very long one, and they spend pages and pages talking about their error budget and all of the different things that might contribute to the error in it. These aren't things that might make it completely the wrong measurement. These are things that might make it slightly off, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get more and more degrees of precision when they're measuring the value for G. So uncertainty calculations in the value of G, right? Uncertainty of the torque due to mass positions, right? And so they go over all these things, and you can find this on my website, mctoon.net/G, right? Now, this isn't the only one. This one here, let's see, time swing. Now we want the balance. That's it. $13 tons of mercury. I love this one. What they did is they tested it for about a year. So the position of the moon throughout the course of a year is constantly orbiting the Earth. And so the error introduced by the moon is negated, because some of the time the moon is on one side and some of the time the moon is on the other side, and it cancels out when you average things. So again, that doesn't make the measurement wrong. That would not cause something to go the wrong direction. That would slightly modify the measurement and give you a slightly wrong value for G, but it does nothing at all to invalidate their experiment.
I mean, we don't know that. We don't know that. I mean, you say slightly, but without taking those into account, we don't know slightly. But I have something that actually shows that masses don't attract. I have a little video, if you don't mind me playing it. It's like a minute video. Let's see. Share. I gotta share again, right?
An 8-minute video.
I believe it's about 8 minutes. I think. But I mean, you don't have to. We don't have to watch it that long. You can even cut it in half, probably. But let me see. Let's see where we at right here. Like this is a video where it's showing that there's no there's no mass attracting mass when they from magnets or any other mass. But I don't know if you've ever seen this video.
I don't know.
But if you go forward, like so basically, he's able to show you the like if there's any attraction right here. So yeah, right now he has a magnet in there, but so he has the magnet there. So it's actually showing like the forces right there that are involved, right? I forgot what this thing is, but he's it's able to show that those lines. Excuse me?
It looks like a ferrocell.
I forgot exactly what it was called, but in any case, he has he's showing like the attraction, right? The yellow part is like the attraction. So it's showing that when he puts the two magnets together, there's a gap. There's a gap in the middle. If you see that gap in the middle, that's showing that there's no attraction right there, because there's nothing showing right there as being an attraction.
So these magnets are canceling each other out.
No, they're not canceling each other out. It's supposed to be attracting. They're attracting. It's supposed to be attracting, but it's not really attracting.
And what does this have to do with mass? This is magnetism you're showing.
It's both mass and magnets. It has both in there.
Where? How is this mass as well?
Let me see.
It looks just like a pole, doesn't it? Except these are the two magnets that are accelerating towards one another. So, and the video that I'd like to point you to, I'd like to point out the fact that it's generated by a supercomputer of two stars accelerating towards each other.
This just is showing that that there's no attraction force right there between masses, and that.
But
that's
these
all
are
the video
magnets.
shows.
Do you have something that shows mass, not magnetism?
accelerate forward.
Well, it's put should be in there also.
Null point. And then the other. You can see the smaller black
Yeah,
dot
this
to the
is
second
all magnetism.
highlight one here. See that?
And the fact that it starts with proof masses do not accelerate towards each other is troubling because
I mean,
proof.
that's not the video. That's not the video. That's not the video's description. That was just some website. But the video, the actual video doesn't say that.
The Zetetic Zen word. Yeah. So just so you,
I'm not
reference,
concerned about the
proof belongs in 3 places.
Did you just,
Pure math.
Did you just hear what I said right now?
Same thing as large.
Well, hold on a
man.
second. Pure math, alcohol, and pseudoscience. It's the only place that you find proof.
Come on, man. I'm not trying to say proof on what I'm just trying to say that.
But do you have anything about mass? Do you have anything about mass?
Right, isn't it?
This is magnetism.
Pretty bright. Yeah. Okay, now here we have
Well, this is
magnets with light polarity. This is what the common.
it does show the mass also, but
I think you don't quite get it. So now you did have a formula. That's interesting. Remember that dV equals.
Right, that's time up for this topic.
Okay.
So the thing is, computer stop. I'm about 10 seconds behind you guys because I can't hear the call. I can only hear the stream, which is interesting for me. So I'm hearing what you say about 10 seconds later. So I'm going to try and do my best. But let's move on to the next topic. Is it?
I think that was 4.
It's MCToon's turn to present evidence, right? Shake your head if that's right, MCToon. No, it's David's turn. There we go. We can communicate with sign language. We can do this. Right, David.
Oh wait, no, it is. No, it is. I'm sorry.
Is the third one. So on you go. Just you got 5 minutes. Present your next evidence.
I'm sorry, David. I confused that.
Second timer.
So
5 minutes.
It was mine, right, David? I don't want to.
yes,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
good.
So, and I made a mistake there. So, okay. Well, so my, let me see. I have so many tabs open here. So many tabs. Got a tab back here. It's right there. All right. So, the shape of the Earth has been measured. So here's the deal. When you take a flat surface, and let's do this. David, if you have a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1, what are the internal angles if it's on a flat plane?
Well, I'm sorry. What do you mean? Say that again.
If you have a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1, what are the internal angles?
I can't see that. Are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like a regular triangle, like what, 60?
Yeah, 60. Okay. So on a flat surface, good job on that. A lot of people get that wrong. On a flat surface, all of the angles add up to 180 degrees. But on a sphere, all of the when you do a triangle, you get more than 180 degrees. It is a mathematical necessity. It is a mathematical proof, in fact, proven mathematically. So what you can do to see if we live on a surface of a sphere is measure some triangles. So that's what surveyors do. So if you see here, I have this one here, the transcontinental triangulation and the American arc of the parallel, published in 1900. It was a survey from the Pacific, or from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean, and they actually measured the radius of the Earth to be 6,377 kilometers, one direction. That's the equatorial, and then the polar radius is 6,356 kilometers. But that's all interesting. That's not what I'm specifically looking at here. What I'm looking at here is these triangles. So what they do is they do all this triangulation. and they draw out these huge triangles all over. So you can see here Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak, West Base, East Base, Big Springs, Dry Camp, Plateau, right? So they have these different places that they've named, and then they measure these triangles, and they get all of the angles and the lengths of these triangles. And so here's some of them. By the way, this is on mctoon.net/r for radius. So here's one triangle, for example, number 28, from Ibapa, I don't know what that is, to Pilot Peak, and then Ogden Peak. And you can have you see the angles at each of those positions. They add up the angles, and they get more than 180 degrees. In fact, they got 62.66 arc seconds more than 180 degrees. Every time they measure a triangle, they get more than 180 degrees. 39 arc seconds too much, 62 arc seconds too much, 12 arc seconds too much, 72, on and on and on for page and page and page. Now, this was a critical measurement of the United States. They use this still for these survey markers that they did, but they used it to measure the shape and the size of the United States. Surveying is a field that's been around for centuries, and it's very, very accurate. The borders of all of our countries were defined by surveyors. So unless there's massive discrepancies in the borders of countries, surveyors do their job and they get it right. And every time they measure these big triangles, they get more than 180 degrees. Every time. So this is just one measurement. If you look at mctoon.net/r, you can see that particular book. It's 900 pages, and those measurements are page after page of measurements. If you scroll down, I'll give you this in the live chat here. The final one here on the page isn't a full measurement of the radius of the Earth, but it is some spherical excess examples. That's what it's called. It's called spherical excess when you measure a triangle and there's too many degrees in it because it's a sphere. So that is basically what I have here.
All right, MCToon, that is your 5 minutes up. David, we're going to pass over to you now for 5 minutes to rebut the evidence that MCToon just brought up. So,
so those measurements were across the United States from east to west, east coast to west coast. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And, you know the distance of from the east coast to the west coast is?
I don't know offhand. No, I'm sorry.
It's 2,800 miles, right? 2,800 miles. And then according to the mainstream, the globe is supposed to be 24,901, right? 24,901 miles. Now so the east to west coast is only 2,800 miles, which is a very, very small part of this supposed globe. So it doesn't matter what your measurement. You could have the biggest circle hill that the United States is. You can say it's the biggest hill, circle, whatever the measurements are. It doesn't really matter because the globe is supposed to be. I mean, what we're looking at. What is that? Let's see. If you let's see, 2, 3. What are we looking at? Like 8 times. The United States is like 8. It's 8. It'll be 8 times. The globe is 8 times as big as the United States. So that's 8 times bigger than that. We're talking about the distance wise. So I mean, those measurements don't really mean anything. I mean, it could suggest the globe, which it does, but it's too small. It's too small to even. It's too small to even say that is evidence of it. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, it's good. It's good. I appreciate that, but it's not good enough. I mean, the real thing is the real fact of the matter is the supposed globe or Earth is 71% covered in water, and we already know what it is. The water is flat, right? There's the water doesn't bend, water doesn't curve. There's no evidence of that, and the Earth is covered with 71%, not just 1/8 of what the United States is on the globe, right? We're talking about 71% of the world is in water, and we don't see any curves. We don't see any of that anywhere around. It's all flat, and that's a bigger, huger big huge part of the Earth. It's mostly covered in water, and I mean you can't really beat that with any measurements out there because it's mainly covered in water, and we see water to be flat and level.
So, do you have? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Could you please present the measurements of flatness that you are referring to?
Measurements of flatness. The measurement is flat. There's
Okay,
there's no
behind. I'm guessing that is everything from you there.
There's no measurement. There's not a measurement.
You have no
of
measurements.
flatness.
Wait, you
There is no
claimed
measurement of flatness.
that water is flat. Hold on. You claim that water is flat. Please support that claim.
Just carry on. I'll start talking.
Everybody could see it. Everybody could see it. I mean, everybody could see that it's flat. I mean, I didn't know there was a question to it not being flat.
Yeah. Present your measurements of flatness. Go ahead.
But I don't understand what you're trying to say. Can you be more elaborate in that? What is the measurement of flatness?
Okay. Well, I wrote down, quote, water is flat. Go ahead.
Yes.
Floor is yours. Present evidence supporting your claim.
I'm trying to
water is flat.
claim that it's flat. What are you talking about, man? I mean, there's observation after observation. I have plenty of observations that show that
present, please. I'm anxious to see the measurements of flatness of water.
I don't understand what you mean measurements. You gotta be more more specific on that.
Well, you made a claim that water is
flat.
No,
you're saying measurements. Yeah, but you're saying measurements. What is that? What does that consist of? Measurements of flatness. I don't understand. I don't understand what you're asking for.
Well, you wouldn't. Whoa! You wouldn't make that claim if you hadn't done have some measurements to support your claims.
I didn't make any claims of measurements of flatness. I didn't make that claim. You did.
Whoa! Hold on a second.
I never even came out
live chat. Live chat. Did you hear him say water is flat?
Okay, where does that say flatness? Measurements of flatness. What does that say?
No, you said the words that came out of your mouth were water is flat. Did you say that or did you not say that? You did. Okay, so present your evidence. You have some measurements of flatness, maybe? See, I quantified measurements of sphericity. Right? I showed you measurement after measurement after measurement of spherical excess. That's something that can only happen on a sphere, something that absolutely could never happen on a flat surface. And you claimed as your rebuttal for that, water is flat. Go ahead. Please present your measurements of flatness that are going to debunk my measurements of sphericity.
That doesn't make any measurements of flatness. I don't understand what you're trying to say. That can you give me an example of what you're trying to say?
Well, maybe you have some surveyed triangles that added up to 180 degrees exactly, even though they were large.
Yeah, I asked you for an example of flatness. What are you talking about?
I just gave you
you're giving me your evidence, but you're asking me for flatness. I don't know what that means. That doesn't mean anything. What I'm talking about is straight level. What you look at, what we see, what we witness, what is our reality. That's what we see. And we also I can show you.
So support that claim.
That it's flat. That the Earth is flat. I could do that for you.
Measurements of flatness, please, to support your claim. Water is flat. Water is flat. Water is flat. So show the measurements of flatness of water. I'm almost done with this. You should have something quick because this is your. I have a
lot of things. But I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say because I mean if you get a standing water, it's flat. You know what flat means, right? You can look at it. It's flat, straight and flat, right? You know what that means, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to provide the measurements of this flatness.
Okay, so you could actually do it yourself. Why don't you grab a cup of water, a nice big cup, or actually get a bowl, and you can see that it's flat. The water's flat. It doesn't. It's not gonna. And it doesn't.
And what's the margin? What's the margin of error of that measurement?
It's not a measurement. It's an observation.
Sorry. You claimed water is flat. That is a quantitative claim. Something measurable.
It's an observation.
Please show measurements No. I'm
It's
sorry.
not-
Hey, oh, it looks flat. No, I'm sorry.
No,
That doesn't work. That's not how things work in reality.
It looks flat
You said
and
it's
everything
flat.
I can show you- I can
Provide
show you-
supporting evidence for flatness.
Like what I
Go
can
ahead.
show you is water being flat, and I'll give you the
Oh,
I'll
good.
give you one.
Show it, please. Show, and make sure there's your quantitative margin of error on that. Please hurry up. The audience is getting anxious to see your supporting evidence. I think for flatness.
You don't make any sense. There's no flatness measurements of flatness.
Well. Oh, I know. It's a rhetorical question. Of course, there's no measurements of flatness because it's not flat. Because every time we measure the surface of water, we find that it's not flat. Excuse me. So if you look at my screen,
it's true.
So
okay, so the first, can you see my screen?
4 minutes left on this.
Can you see my screen? Is that showing?
Yeah. Now, these don't. I don't think these are going to be measurements of flatness. I've seen these before.
I don't know.
And so I'm going to ask.
I could understand what I would provide for you, but I don't understand what you're saying. I'm showing you evidence that shows that the Earth is flat. That's what I'm
go.
telling you. I don't
All right, I'll go back. I'll show you.
I don't know what that means.
I'll show you I'll show you the quality of measurements that I'm expecting here. So could you put up my screen, Craig? So here is some measurements that I have that I'm citing here that are measurements of sphericity. You can see there is a spherical excess, 62 arc seconds of spherical excess.
Yeah,
so you're asking how should you provide measurements of flatness? And so I'll give you an example by showing you measurements of sphericity right here. Spherical excess, 62 arc seconds of spherical excess in this triangle here. 39.
There's no measurement
right?
of that.
Yeah. Well, there would be. You could, for example, you could use surveyors, and you could do a large survey, and you could measure triangles and find that the sum of all the interior angles of that triangle add up to 180 and not any more. That would be one way to do it, for example. So,
the evidence that I have is a little bit better than that. But so like we have like a
better than
microwave transmission. Yeah, because there's no room for error here. We have microwave transmissions over 146 miles that there's nothing that gets in the way. If there's no curvature that's getting in the way, that they connect. If they wouldn't connect if there was something in the way or if it was round, right? If there was some curvature or anything, they wouldn't be able to connect. And they're able to connect. They're able to use these transmissions, and those are microwave transmissions across.
So present the evidence. Then yeah. So far it's just a claim here. So let's look at it.
It's an actual real thing that's out in the Mediterranean Sea. It's a 146 mile microwave transmission from tower to tower. Is 146 miles. It's out in the Mediterranean Sea off of the coast of
Okay, well, bring it up.
Can you see it right here? Is my screen sharing?
It's a little bit uncentered.
Anyways, this was a world record that they did out in the Mediterranean from a microwave transmission, 146 miles. It's straight across. I mean, there's no measurements. It's just flat, straight across. If there was some curvature, if there was a globe, this would be impossible to do because microwave transmissions don't curve. They wouldn't be able to get around a curve. And this is real stuff that we use on a day-to-day basis.
So how high? Yeah. How high are the two towers?
How high are the two towers there? What was it about? Resistance record. I forgot what it was. I forgot exactly what the measurements were, but I have it right here. I believe it was 146 feet, but I don't find that.
All right, that's
right
it
now,
for
but
this topic. Computer, stop. Right, so is there another one? How many rounds have we gone? Show me with fingers, MCToon. We've done 4. Right, so we're going to move on to the Q&A then. This is going to be fun because I'm a little bit behind them. I'm just going to mute that for a sec so I don't hear myself. Okay. Let's have a look through these super chats quickly and see if there's any questions there. If there is, I will give you guys a chance to respond to them. Kevin Sherman is a new member. Welcome very much. Thank you very much to the channel. And then there's a €1 super chat from MS to Jessa. Thank you. Better Charge New Zealand $2 says this guy sounds like Porky Pig. Interesting. Sunny Stephen just gives a thumbs up for $1.99 Canadian. Thanks for introducing me to Sunny Stephen MCToon. I do appreciate that. Draco Fire for $2 says good to see MCToon kicking Flerfs to the ground. God's Auditor for $5 says precision and accuracy are different things. This guy is relying on other people to tell him they are perfectly aligned. He hasn't verified it. David, do you want to respond to that? Apparently you haven't verified anything.
I mean, I believe it to be true. If it's wrong, then show me something different. But as far as that's concerned, I mean, I've been to the pyramids out in Chichen Itza. That's the one I have seen, and they do line up with the celestial bodies in the sky. They mainly focus on Venus, but which Venus lines throughout the year in different locations. But I have verified.
Okay. I'm going to assume you finished your answer there and move on.
Yeah.
Fargoth92 for $2 says, literally all David has is nutter. Point a Laugh for $5 Australian says, MCToon is a shill, we all know that. More importantly, how many rupees do you need to upgrade your computer? Blessed be toilet paper makers. Yeah, I've been having issues with my computer. It's about a year old, but it seems to be really struggling. I gave it a good clean, but still having issues. Thank you very much. Rocket Scientist for $5 Canadian says, David, you are the human equivalent of a participation award. I'm just going to move on from there. Johnny B for $5 US, says, yeah, never a legend to any Flat Earth map. They seem to think that's not a problem. David, why is there never any proper legends on a Flat Earth map?
There are. I mean, all over like I said, every map that's out there besides the globe that he has they're all flat. They all have legends on them.
Right. Just going to move on then. I'm assuming you've stopped. Where we get to. Brad Dubay for $5 says, David, not all 2D maps even agree on shapes or distances. 3D to 2D, something has to give. Do you agree that no 2D maps agree with a 3D map?
I'm not sure about that question. I mean, I have to think about it. I don't understand. I mean, it sounds right, but I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm assuming you've answered that, and I'm going to move on. My bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. Like, guys, I cannot hear the call that I'm in. I can only hear the stream that I'm doing. So I'm almost like a passive observer here. This is a bit strange.
All right. You're doing a good job, man. Doing a good job.
Nuga for $1.99 says, cue the Billy Madison clip, please. Yeah, it would be appropriate for a lot of what was said. Kango24 for $10 New Zealand says, I have watched a bunch of these debates, but it's ridiculous. Debating people with head injuries is not cool. David needs help to a forum to babble like a child on. I'm going to move on from that. It doesn't really need answering. Chris Kelling for $10. Thank you, I do appreciate that. Chris Kelling for $10 says, brain and brain. What is brain? From Spock's brain at Bane. John Rapp for $2 Australian. Everyone say hi to John Rapp. Why do idiots think they can redefine science? Cajun Crustacean for $5 says, that's right, you're not dealing with the average Flerf idiot anymore. He's gone beyond and finally became the legendary supermoron. No Doubt for $2 says idiot confirmed. Red Cosmos Devil for $1.99 says MCToon should debate more. Love his approach. Yeah, MCToon is the other side of the coin to me. I get quite angry, but MCToon is a lot more calm and collected than I. I just don't have that ability, apparently. Right, let me just there's a couple more. Shane Summer for $2 says, show this guy a bubble inside a level. Yeah, we could do that. And Jeff Roberts for $9.99 says, David, for your measurements of water flatness, you need a glass of water is flat. You said a glass of water is flat. Based on the globe model, how much curvature would we expect to see in a glass of water, and would it be perceptible?
I don't understand. I don't understand what he's trying to say. Like, I don't understand what he's trying to say. I don't understand what he's trying to say.
I think the point is the on the globe with the particular radius, we can predict in a glass how much curve we should expect to see, and is it perceptible by our eyes? And it's not. It's way too small to see the predicted curve. Right. But if we're talking about measuring curve, I mean, you're talking about you're asking about flatness. I mean, that's just for being flat. That could just go on forever. I mean, it's pretty comparable to what we see out there, and all the oceans are flat. I mean, we don't see any curvature. I mean, there's something that's perceived to be curvature. You might like what you say, the what do you call it, the perceived horizon line or whatever, but which is pretty much crap. But because the horizon is the optical effect, it's not a physical or a natural effect.
I'm hoping that you two have finished discussing that now. So let's move on. One more super chat from Draco Fire for $2. Use these to fix your computer. Yeah, something's going to have to get sorted, definitely. I think that a Q&A section is probably going to be impossible to do properly because I can't hear the call that I'm in. So I think we're probably going to shut down for tonight. And it's been an interesting one for sure. I want to say thank you to both you guys for coming on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you each 5 minutes to give any final thoughts. And then I will say goodbye to everyone and we will get out of here for tonight. So, David, I'm going to let you go first. Why don't you just take a few minutes? I'll give you 5 minutes for just any final thoughts, okay? Over to you.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate you having me on. I haven't been on here for about a year. So I think I'm a little bit rusty as far as when I'm speaking. So I want to try to get more often so I could be more fluent in what I say. Try to get my points across because I don't think I got them across as well as I should have. Like I said, I do appreciate you giving me the time to express my thoughts, my ideas, and what I believe the world to be. Right, and if I come out here more often, I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to help people understand what our reality is and the world that we live in and how flat it is. There you go. Thank you, man.
So he's still behind. So I'm sure he'll switch to me in a second when he hears me talking. But thank you, David. It was very good. Glad to have a spirited and cordial discussion. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. It looks like there's let's see, how many people are in there? 400 some. I think I saw over 700 at one point. So thanks everybody for watching. If you like, I debate every Tuesday basically on my channel. MCToon is my channel, or I pop it in the description here. It's in the description and then in the live chat there. So that's it. And thanks Craig for hosting, and thanks David for joining. So there we go. Now we get to wait a couple seconds while Craig catches up. I did solve my cube here a couple times. have I got this guy. Waiting for him to catch up. Let's see. We got.
Oh, sorry. You done MCToon? I'm assuming then. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, guys. Technical issues are hilarious. I don't think it was my computer this time. The power cut we had seemed to have changed some of my settings, and I just could not figure out what's going on. I could hear the stream, but not the actual call that I'm in, which was making things quite difficult. But anyway, guys, I've had a lot of fun tonight, despite the technical difficulties. I want to say thank you to both my guests for being courteous to each other and having a decent conversation. Make sure you guys subscribe to MCToon. Link to his channel is in the description. He has regular debates on a Tuesday, and he also does excellent videos, and he's also still owed $100,000 by Flat Out Hero. I wonder if that will ever turn up. Probably not. Let me just check I've had no more super chats. So I had one from Stringer News 1 for $1.99, a game over sticker. Yes, game over. Earth's not flat, guys. It's so obvious. I think